Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. Holy moly, what an exciting time to be an early adopter in this new asset class that is the digital asset space. Did Bitstamp just rug pull the XRP community? Did they just pull a rug pull? Property Rich, what say you? What in the world just happened? We're going to get into that interesting stuff. Look, listen, Bitcoin's going to hit $1 million. I'll share with you, I'll share my guy with you. And he'll help you better understand that. Better understand that. Did Bitstamp just rug pull the community? I don't know. No. Here's what I'll say. I don't think so. Doesn't make sense at all. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that. A lot of people just don't understand how liquidity pools work. A lot of people don't understand DeFi, especially. I just got to say it properly, Rich, especially the XRP community. No clue. No clue about DeFi. None. It's unfortunate, but we'll help to educate them about that as well. We'll share some. I'm gonna share a couple of tools and stuff to let you know kind of what you don't know about DeFi. We'll get into that as well. Listen, the market is doing what the market does. We'll go over the numbers. If you can stomach it, Heston Sinclair, I'll cover the numbers. What is going on with CoinGecko? We'll share those numbers today as well. I did a video for the Patreon group this morning about the Bitcoin hitting $1 million and some strategies for dollars, fiats to Coinbase to an exchange to get the better value, get the better price for that dirty, nasty fiat that you might have laying around on a DCA strategy. If you got that, if you have that as part of your comprehensive strategy to create wealth in the best performing asset class in the world, which is the digital asset space. Again, happy Sunday to each and every one of you. I hope you guys are doing well. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button on the way in. That will be super, super awesome. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. How many of you guys want me to pull out my old money doesn't want you to win gear? I haven't shared that gear in a while. I need to break that out. This old money doesn't want you to win. It's pretty cool, pretty good looking stuff. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies. I need to break that out. I mean, winter is upon us, right? A lot of people probably got snow already on the ground. I need to break some of that stuff out with you guys. It is an exciting time to be an XRP holder. It's an exciting time to be in the digital asset space as a whole, for sure. So we're going to get into this. I guess the CEO or co-founder of XP Market shared. It was kind of like an alarm about what Bitstamp did. It's kind of like an alarm. So in any case, I think people think they understand DeFi. They don't really understand DeFi, like really understand how DeFi works. We'll get into that. We'll get into that, some of that stuff as well. Hang out on a couple of tools that I like to use for DeFi. We'll share that as well. So again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and happy Sunday to each and every one of you. My boys got a bye this week, and what I say is, thank God, we don't have to watch them New York Football Giants this weekend. I mean, thank God. We don't have to watch that madness. Woo! Crazy street right now. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Do me a favor, hit that like button again, like I said. And if you happen to be in the 55% or so people that are hanging out, listening to and watching the Crypto Seas and haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do me a favor. If you have been enjoying the Hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're trying to take that number down from 55% down to about 20, 25% or so. And you could do your part right now by just hitting the like button. What's going on, Keston Sinclair? How are you, bro? Property Rich is in the building. What's going on, Property Rich? Make sure I got this chat up to date. Appreciate you guys being in. Jungle Link, my dude, Jungle Link. He's sharing some big time knowledge of what's going on with Arthur Brittle. Like what? I'm like Jungle. How do you know this stuff, bro? How do you get the inside info on that kind of stuff? We'll share that as well. Remind me to share Jungle's video. Gorilla Investment says, I'm subscribed. Welcome to the family, Gorilla Investments. Appreciate that sub, my guy. Definitely appreciate that. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to go over these numbers real quick. I mean, Bitcoin, I've never seen it ranging like that at 90,000. I mean, it didn't go to 89, didn't go to 91. It just stayed at 90,100, 90,700, 90,300. It's interesting, right? Very, very interesting to see that. Hoover, what's that say? Hoover the Fud Killer. What's going on, bro? Greetings from Sweden. Oh, welcome to the channel. Hey, I think this channel, Property Rich, might be getting off that shadow ban. Starting to get the Sweden group checking in again. It's, might be that. It might be because we're in the heat of the bull as well. Some people kind of tune out. But I think it's that shadow ban lift. More people are seeing the live streams and the videos popping. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it's a combination of the both. Hoover the Fud Killer. Welcome. Welcome to the channel, bro. Welcome to the channel. All right, so let's go over the market real quick. I mean, we might as well cover the CoinGecko madness real quick. Let's get into that real quick before we get into the heat of the stuff here. Bitstamp, rug pull in the XRPL community. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's what happened at all, but we'll cover it. All right, let's refresh CoinGecko. There it is, showing 90,000 Bitcoin again. Let's refresh this. I mean, we didn't get to 89 or 91. I mean, it's been in this 90,000 range for a couple of days. That's like, I mean, for me, that's fascinating. Fascinating. Oh, well, there's the 89. I guess you be careful what you ask for. There it is. All right. So according to CoinGecko, the total cryptocurrency market cap is down 3% and is at 3.14 trillion. Bitcoin dominance is around 57%. Bitcoin is currently trading at $89,632. And on the 30-day, Bitcoin is up 30%. Ethereum is trading at $3,072. On the 30-day, Ethereum is up 16%. Solana, the beloved, is at $235. And on the 30-day, it's up 52%. XRP, the beloved, is at $1.05. $1.05. On the 30-day, XRP is up 92%. Dogecoin is trading at 36 cents. And on the 30-day, Dogecoin is up 165%. And you want me to be in the S&P 500, messing around with some madness? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I had some my beetroot powder and some fresh juice. Felt like I had some of that pulp on my lips. Anyway, what else we got going on here? Pulp on your lips. Great. All right, so we is trading at $3.80. We were blessed enough to get exposure to SWE at 55 cents because we were in DeFi. Because we were in DeFi, we were able to do that, and then we made I think we made 3 subsequent purchases. Took the trading fees and liquidity pool fees, ran away. I mean, loved it. And then we made 3 more positions, took 3 more positions in SWE. So we love this little 6x, whatever is going on there with that, right? 55 cents, that's 6x, I think. And SWE is trading at $3.80. And on the 30-day, SWE is up 78%. 78%. But the meme coins are killing the game. 165% on a 30-day for Doge and Pepe, the Ethereum, because Doge is his own blockchain, right? Pepe on Ethereum is up 101%, right? 101% on a 30-day. Stellar Lumens is up 102% on the 30-day. Shout out to the Stellar holders. I hope you guys all do well because we need a new 1%. We need a 1%. And I'm going to tune into Crypto Cito after this live stream to see what's going on with the Mantra airdrop for Atom token stakers. We'll see what's good, if anything. Speaking of RWA, look at Mantra killing the game right now. Whew, trading at $3.59. And Mantra, the OM, this is in the Cosmos SDK play, just to let you know. RWA is in the Cosmos SDK ecosystem. It is up 134% on a 30-day. That's good. Shout out to those guys. I may get into either Mantra or Ondo liquidity pool today. Take advantage of this movement with a portion of my Atom tokens. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, that's the market. And it is doing what the market does. Let's go back to the stream, see what's good. Pookie is in the building. What's going on, my guy? Appreciate you being here. Let me stop the share. If we get the live internet to cooperate. Property Risk says if people keep pushing the like button, your numbers will start to go back up. Yep, so that's true. Oh, really? That's nice. Property Risk says yesterday you got everyone who was in the chat to like. Let's do it again today. Yeah, I'm for it. Thank you, Property Rich. Get everyone in the live stream to hit that like button. That'd be super, super cool. Thank you, Gorilla Investments. Everyone, please hit the like button so we can fight against YouTube algorithms. Thank you, Gorilla Investment. I appreciate that. Appreciate that for sure. Yeah, Pookie, welcome to the stream, bro. Appreciate you checking in, man. So I don't know. Word on our street is Bitstamp did a little rug pull. What say you, Pookie? Did Bitstamp do a rug pull? Interesting. What's up, XRP Net? How are you, fam? How are you? I appreciate you checking in. Interesting stuff. David Allcoin is in the building. What's going on, David? Thumbs up to you. Thank you, Blake. I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys hitting that like button on the way in. That's awesome. If you didn't get a chance to do it yet, no worries. Just collapse the chat real quick. Go smash the like button, then come back and hang out with the Crypto Season fam. So let's get into something on X we'll cover the alarm that was sounded by the kind of like, I don't know, is he co-founder or CTO of XP Markets? We'll cover that, get that perspective. Then we'll go over a couple other perspectives, which I think were probably, I believe to be more accurate. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. All right. So was it XP Markets was like sound the alarm? Yeah, right here. So of course, Dark Horse. I don't know what Dark Horse's intentions are. I don't know if he's trying to alarm people, crap on people, make people feel bad, get some type of vengeance. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, this was about Arthur Brittle moving some XRP. I don't know what that matters. All right, so here, Dr. Arthur Korjakalov. Bitstamp literally has just rug pulled the XRPL community. They're strong words. Strong words. All right, let's go through what Arthur believes to be correct. Arthur. All right, here is what you need to know. Ripple owns equity share in Bitstamp. Bitstamp has withdrawn more than 90% of the liquidity from the US dollar XRP and the Bitcoin XRP AMM pools. This means that now trading of these assets becomes extremely volatile with a huge price impact. I highly discourage anyone owning or even trading Bitstamp issued assets. This comes as a silent move from the Bitstamp. No official announcement by Bitstamp or Ripple X. This is in addition that there is zero guarantee that Bitstamp will honor the one-to-one conversion of these wrapped assets. He says it reminds me of Stably. You guys remember Stably? How can anyone trust DeFi on the XRPL ledger? When official partners make such moves? Optics are terrible. Optics are terrible. Again, this is Arthur. He's like co-founder, CTO of CEO and co-founder at XP Markets. They're just right there. He does a lot of great charts and stuff, keeps us updated on the activity that's going on, taking place on the XRPL, whether it be daily active users, new wallets, et cetera. He does some really good charts, infographics, so that we can all better learn and get a better idea for the state of the XRPL. 65 viewers in the live stream. Appreciate that, guys. If you would hit that like button, that would be really, really cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we have viewers in the stream. What say you, David O'Coin? Do you think that Bitstamp did a rug pull? What do you think? Did they just... What up, everyone? All right, let me do this. Let me make sure this chat's up to date. What do you guys think? I mean, what do you think, XRP? Nick, do you think that Bitstamp did a rug pull? I don't think so. Oh, David says the first I heard of it. Interesting. I don't think they did a rug pull. I think that especially if you're going to create a liquidity pool, you got to have a long-term strategy. Why are you starting this pool? What are you looking to get out of this pool, et cetera, stuff, et cetera. I don't think you can start with Bitstamp, a Ripple partner, and then lean into rug pull of XRP holders. Like Bitstamp, a Ripple partner, rug pulls XRP holders? That doesn't seem like that would make any sense. So we got to zoom out. Think big picture, I think. All right, so let's cover someone who I thought had something really, really awesome to say here. And if you understand DeFi, you know that it makes complete, perfect sense. It's right here. This is one, and I think Andrew had a very interesting thing to say as well. All right, but I think which one do I want to cover? As I think is the more important one. I'll share this Andrew's thing, then I'll share Ralph, because I think Ralph says is the most important thing of them all. All right, so Andrew is I guess he's the founder of Obese Capital, investing on the cutting edge, making markets on the XRPL. Interesting. All right. He says, first, shout out to both Artur and Bitstamp for all their hard work. I have a unique view on the situation, and I would like to offer my point of view. This can do this withdraw, but let me explain why I'm not shocked. Bitcoin and US dollar Bitstamp pools are great for trading and holding these assets on the ledger. However, their LP token owners' first priority is generating yield. This is not currently much yield. There is not currently much yield to be made on the XRPL due to it being quite siloed in its current state. But that changes soon. With the Axel integration, plus the EVM sidechain, plus cross-chain dApps, all of these things equal building portfolios that exist on the XRPL, and demand for liquidity increases. I agree 10,000%. Until then, there is not much demand for trading Bitcoin, US dollar on the DEX. It is shocking that Bitstamp removed liquidity from these pools because it shows they were not thinking long-term. I just said that. When it came to investing in those pools, XRPL AMM strategy is long-term. We talk about that in the Patreon all the time. It's not 30 days. You got to think 9 months, a year. You got to think being in a liquidity pool 9, 10, 12 months a year in the bear market. It's long-term strategy. XRPL is a marketplace, but it's currently a siloed marketplace, property risk. When these walls come down, there will be a natural demand for liquidity. When there is a demand for liquidity, it will attract traders, portfolio builders, algo traders, etc. That's why I argue that XRP is a 90% bucket hold. It's a 10% bucket hold, not a 90%. When these walls come down, there will be a demand for liquidity. Right? That's unrealized promises. All right. So it says, but we also need educators for on-chain finance. We are still early. The XRPL is a real blockchain. Its use case is as market infrastructure in a world of speculation, while the vast majority of even crypto users themselves are lacking severely in education. It is so important. People they keep wanting to rely on Wind Moon. He used a great phrase there, crypto users themselves are lacking severely in education. Right? One can come to the conclusion that we are still some time away from seeing sustained velocity on the ledger from trading, arbitrage, RWA exchanges, and volumes we can expect to generate. Business building yield from. I'm gonna, I like it. Business building yield. That's what we talk about. DeFi as a business. Treat your DeFi positions as a business. Talk about that in the mastermind group all the time. So for Bitstamp, I would say we can't blame them for moving their own funds. For Dr. Arthur, I think I spelled that wrong. I know it's disheartening to see this because you have put so much hard work into building DEX interfaces. We are still early. At the end of the day, I think we cannot be upset if we build something while all the pieces to the puzzle are still being connected. Now, from my point of view and from my experience as a market maker, providing liquidity in the pool is like opening a business. And you don't open a business without a well-planned and thought-out strategy in mind. Removing investments in these liquidity pools might send the wrong signal to other investors and cause a ripple effect of negative consequences. I don't believe they remove the liquidity, says Andrew. I don't believe they remove the liquidity because they see the ecosystem as a failure. I believe it might be stress on their business, and they are having to cut corners elsewhere, possibly. That's a nice write-up. Well done, Andrew, on a very, very important point. Well done on a very, very important point. Most of that is about most of the XRP community, including people who are co-founders of projects, don't understand DeFi. What's going on, Kyle T. Moore? XRP Nick says, I don't think it was a rug pull, but possible negligence, not maliciously. Nope. Mastermind 5. DAI said we shouldn't sell. It's going to $200. What do you think? I think it's I think one of the things we say on this channel all the time, Mastermind 5, is you got to know your teachers. You got to know your teachers. DAI is not a teacher of mine. So I think you got to know your teachers. You got to be careful out there. Uh, what's going on, Cal? How are you, bro? Property Rich says only 17 likes so far. That could be better. Hey, haha, only 17. Yeah, we got a bunch of viewers. We can definitely increase that likes. Let's see if we can get the like numbers up. That'd be awesome. 31, 99 views, 31 concurrent. Yeah, let's see if we can't get them likes. Uh-oh, what happened with this stream? Yeah, I appreciate you guys hitting the like button. Thanks, Property Rich, for reminding us to hit that like button. I appreciate that. Again, it really helps with this algorithm on YouTube. It's one of the greatest ways to support the channel. Hitting that like button. And I appreciate you guys doing that. So, if I catch up. So I think that was a really good write-up by Andrew. And I think it's important to know, his background. Massively important to understand the background. His background as a professional. Let me share it again. Here it is. He's, I guess, the creator of D. Vilbies Capital, investing on the cutting edge, making markets on the XRPL, making markets on the XRPL. I think for me, what Ralph had to say is probably this falls in line what Andrew is saying as well. He says, "Dear Andrew, great assessment. Great assessment. The retail investors act as traders, quote unquote, who think they gain more in a bull run with XRP than in the AMM. This is short-sighted and will cost them impermanent loss that is not necessary. We need good tutorials." And he tagged Krypton Writer and Andrew and David Schwartz. Krypton Writer said, "I tried, but there was just no interest back in the day for tutorials. Now I tend to rather explain my strategy and my premium group for those who care. I guess this will change at some point, maybe with the introduction of lending." I said, yeah, people don't need strategies, bro. They need concepts, principles, and good foundations. How to navigate buttons and splitting $100 evenly into two assets is not enough. I do love your videos, however, as a good first step, right? It's not like knowing how the AMM lessons impermanent loss is not nearly as important as understanding the foundations of entering a liquidity pool. The fundamentals of entering a liquidity pool, not to be entering a liquidity pool until you understand the fundamentals. That is significantly more important than understanding that the AMM, because of this mechanism and that mechanism and this mechanism and that mechanism, brings you more value as a liquidity provider. You understand? Big time difference, big time difference, big time difference. Right? So, and I think this, what Ralph has to say here, I think is 100% apropos. Let me read it again. Dear Andrew, great assessment. The retail investors act as traders who think they gain more in a bull run with XRP than in the AMM. What's up? No, thank you. I think Miss Crypto Siege is getting some salami, meats, and stuff and cheese for us. Thank you. This is short-sighted and will cost them impermanent loss that is not necessary. We need good tutorials. We need good tutorials. And unfortunately, some of the loudest mouths, the XRP entertaining content creators in the space, don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they are talking about? They don't know what we're talking about. What they're talking about. The DeFi, the digital asset space is cyclical. It's cyclical. In other words, you got a shot in a window to gain as much as you possibly can before the next cycle. And in between the next cycles, there's suffering to be had if you don't know what it is that you're doing. And if people are not on the journey, pookie, of becoming a sophisticated investor, they won't understand. 99% of people who hold crypto don't know you can make money in a bear run holding crypto. Like make money, not just gain more of the asset that you might be holding. If you got 10 XRP, not just taking the 10 XRP to 100 XRP, not just that, but turning 100,000 into 150,000 in the bear market. Most people don't know, right? That's the challenge, because everyone is hooked on the bull run as the strategy, because everyone's hooked on the narrative of 1,000 XRP because of utility, because no one is paying attention to what DeFi Llama and what Artemis is saying about what is winning in this cycle. What is winning in this cycle? Not what we hope is going to happen, but what's winning in this cycle. Why is that important? Because we only have this cycle. We don't have next cycle. We don't have when the utility cycle is going to be here. We don't have that. We only have this cycle, as my mentor used to say. The only thing we have is the moment. Right? That's all we got. We only have this cycle to operate in, to make moves, strategize. That's all we got. We don't have the next cycle. So what's your strategy for this cycle? That's important. What's going on? Move accordingly. I appreciate you guys hitting that like button. That is super awesome, man. Super awesome. Rick Cisneros is in the building. What's going on, bro? How are you? Siege, $1 million per Bitcoin will be a psychological pivot. More money will come in and more prices will rise all crypto prices. Yeah. But what if the million comes in the bear market? What if we hit $1 million in the bear market? Is that going to rise all the other prices of crypto? David O'Coin. Been studying for a long, long time. I believe it will be years and years before getting a doctorate in this space. Yes, sir. 1,000%. Are you up for going on that journey? I'm on that journey, becoming a sophisticated investor. I welcome you on that journey. I welcome you on a journey. Move accordingly says, get that money. What's going on, bro? Appreciate you checking in. The goal is to make money. Yeah, it's to create wealth and possibly generational wealth, right? Which means you got to have a comprehensive strategy. It's got to be comprehensive. It can't just be wind, moon alone, like the Bitcoiners are saying. Bitcoiners are saying, oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. You don't need all coins. Just dollar cost average Bitcoin. Just take that paycheck and that fiat that's being debased by 11 to 12%, if not more, every single year. Just take that and just do a little dollar cost average strategy. That's not gonna make it, bro. It's not gonna make it. How's it gonna make it? Rick says, I am just talking about this cycle, not a million, but 100,000. Oh, 100,000. Oh, okay. That says a million. Yeah, this cycle, I mean, look, it's all psychological at this point. In the heat and the battle of the, we're not even parabola yet, but in the heat and the battle of the bull run, yeah, it's 100,000 is a big number psychologically. Absolutely. Absolutely, Rick. Absolutely. Mastermind 5 says, how do I join your Patreon? You can join the Patreon by going here. And let me paste that link in here for you. Hopefully that works. But if it doesn't, it's patreon.com/golf whiskey, which is for Generational Wealth Wednesday Mastermind. Mastermind 5 says, I joined Digital Asset Investors Group, but we talked red files and blue files and the Rothschilds family tree. Mastermind 5 said, I joined the Digital Asset Investor Group, but we talked red files and blue files and the Rothschild family tree. So anyhow, Property Rich says, do you think Bitcoin will go down to 15K? 15K? If it went to 150K? I do not think so. I do not think so. 50% down, yes. Yeah, so Bitcoin historically is what? It's 55 to 75% historical retrace, right? From its all-time high of the cycle, right? That's what it historically is. We're going to cover that in as well on the stream here. We're going to go over the $1 million Bitcoin thesis with my guy. But this cycle, Rick, my guy is thinking 200K for Bitcoin. I'm in the 180 to 200K range for Bitcoin. But if Bitcoin, that top, the cycle of 200K, you take 75% for that. That's right. That's 50K. Isn't it? 75% of 200 is, I think, 150,000, right? So that means it'll be a 50K Bitcoin. If it does what it historically does, which is a range of 55% to 75% retrace. Now, altcoins, Property Rich. Property Rich said, yes, you said everything will go down 95%. Yeah, altcoins, bro. Altcoins, not Bitcoin. Bitcoin has its own thing. Bitcoin retraces 55 to 75%, that range. And it varies per each cycle. One cycle, it's 55%. One cycle, it's 70% retrace. That kind of deal. But the altcoins, that's a different deal, right? The altcoins are 90 to 98% retraces. Like an awesome thing like Solana retraced 95% from the 2021 high, right? David O'Coin says 35K next bear. 35. So let's say Bitcoin only hits 180. Let's see what that 75% of that might be. David Allcoin. Let's see. 180. I'm not great with math. I gotta use a calculator, bro. I don't know how. Anyway, times. And I'm doing 75%. It might be 70 this cycle. It might be 65% this cycle. It's a range. So I'm going to do 75%. 100 and that would be 45,000 BTC. 75% of 100 would leave a BTC at 45,000. Property Rich, you're right. Property Rich says all other times XRP made a move was when Bitcoin went down. This time it did not do that. Yeah. And I think it's right. You remember, we missed a cycle. So all things considered, XRP was not allowed to participate in the same rhythm and ebb and flow of the other altcoins in the 2021 low bull run. Right. So I think that's probably why that happened, Property Rich. But yeah. So no, me personally, I don't think XP Bitstamp rather, I'm sorry, tried to or rug pull. They pulled liquidity from looks like a liquidity position pool that they started for whatever that reason is. My guess is massively the under participation, the under activity of XRP holders participating. I think there will be more non-XRP holders to participate in RippleX's liquidity incentive event than XRP holders. People from Ethereum, people from Solana and other ecosystems who understand DeFi, who have participated in DeFi, who don't mess around with red files and blue files, will participate. Rick says Cisnero says also take into consideration the National Reserve of Bitcoin. This will bring in other countries into buying Bitcoin and change the dynamics of historical pricing. Yes, sir. Without question. It's going to take a while. It's going to be a minute for that kind of stuff, right? 5-10 years, but that's going to happen for sure. First, we got to get it done in the States first. And I'm not sure if we'll get it this administration. I hope we do. I really hope we do. We get it done this administration. We get it, get whether it's Lummis's deal or whatever, get that passed in both places in Congress. That would be awesome. I mean, that's a pretty easy, simple goal. 200,000 a year. Get to 1 million Bitcoin is not a lot. I mean, they're already at a couple 100,000. They're already at that, right? So let me share a couple of tools for DeFi for people. Like, it's kind of massively important. If you're going to be doing DeFi, you gotta get an idea of what's really going on, right? One of the things that we use is like what's winning in the altcoin space. What's winning right now? What are the narratives that are winning? What are the narratives that have been winning for the past year, right? One of the tools we use is Artemis, right? And Artemis, you can track the sectors of what's winning, what's losing, what's winning, all that kind of stuff, right? I love it. Artemis is really, really good. It's really, really simple to use. Really, really simple. So the total market cap of crypto for the Artemis is 3.17. It's up 30% in the last 30 days, like we covered. Daily active addresses is 20.1 million. It's up 6% in the last 30 days. Daily transactions is down 0.5%. Fees are up 23%, up 16.7 million. But what we like to use is what sectors are winning in the space right now on a monthly basis, daily basis, yearly basis. On a monthly basis, meme coins right now, it's killing the game. Followed by store value, generation 1, layer 1, smart contracts. And then you got RWA. So you take RWAs at 58%, layer 1s, smart contract layer 1s, 64%, store value at 70%, and then meme coins, right? And that's on a monthly basis, but we should probably track it for the year, right? So we can check that. year to date. And look at RWAs. Look at RWAs killing the games. Almost 5 times as much as the meme coin sector over the year. Now, most people would not believe that. Most people would not believe it. And over the year, guess what is third? Centralized exchange tokens. And then followed by exchange tokens, which probably means DEXs for the year. Those are the ones winning. But RWAs, that ain't meme coins. Right? That's not meme coins. Think about that. RWAs. Now, who's killing the game in the RWA space, you might say? It looks like it's got Ondu, Mantra, which is OM, which is the one I showed you, one CoinGecko, Clearpool, and Maple. Now, we shared Ondu, Clearpool, and Maple centrifuge with the channel years ago. We decided we would go centrifuge and Ondu. We lost our centrifuge, but we were able to manage to keep our Ondu, right? 9 whatever billion market cap, followed by Mantra, and then Clearpool and Maple, right? Now, we could use something like this to enter into DeFi positions in which we become a service provider, right? I would probably go Ondu, right? Since I hold Ondu, with a portion of my Ondu, I can provide liquidity and get paid to do so and still take advantage of Wind Moon. Right? Still take advantage of Pool, right? And so if I wanted to do Ondu, just for an example, I would go over to Crystal, the Crystal app, and find out like what liquidity pool is out there where I can provide a service and get rewarded for doing so with a portion of my asset, not 100%, a portion, 5%, 10%, 1%, 3%. Why would you do that? Because you can provide liquidity with a percentage of your portfolio without losing that percentage of your portfolio, and you can gain more assets. And with those assets, you can then multiply your Wind Moon bag or create extended or added upon yield, depending upon the rewards for providing a service. So, like, for example, Crystal says Ondu is in the wrapped ETH and Ondu liquidity pair on Uniswap. It's got a nice fee tier of 0.3%. That's pretty cool. I like that. The TVL is 9.7 million. That's pretty sweet. The 24-hour volume is 5 million. Now, we'd like it to be more than the TVL, but that's not bad, right? And 15,000 fees. Price volatility is okay at 5.75%. You like it less, you like it to hang out a little bit, but you want, as far as price volatility, that's pretty cool, right? It could be a liquidity pool. You can provide some liquidity there, get you, depending upon what the rewards are going to be, whether it's going to be ETH, Ondu, or some stable. Maybe they've got a liquidity incentive event going on in here as well, right? Like Flare has with their liquidity pools. They got some incentives going on, right? You could get in the full range pool as opposed to a concentrated liquidity pool where the risk is minimal. You're staying in range, which means you're like the little turtle that you're just consistently earning a little bit. Just consistently earning a little bit. Then when we get into the parabola, you can go to DeFi Llama and see how well these are correlated. And then you can shrink from a full range, and you can shrink that range to get more efficient because the pairs are moving in tandem, right? So And DeFi Llama, you can go over here, DeFi Llama. DeFi Llama just recently launched what? A narratives tool. A narratives tool. How about that? Narrative tracker. Isn't that interesting? Click on the narrative tracker, it'll hook up some stuff there. And you can check and see what's good. Right now, this must be daily or monthly. Memes #1, prediction market, Solana, real world assets, right? Let's see what we got going on here. I like this below percentage. Shows a category of coins that has performed over your chosen time period. But I didn't choose a total time period yet. But isn't it an interesting pool? This is 30 days. Let's do year to date. It's got memes and RWAs there. Pretty cool. Then there's prediction markets, right? And then we can look at the RWAs and check that out a little bit. Total market, look at that, 1,584%, not bad. And then you can look at all the different coins that are changing the game in RWAs. That's crazy. Because you might learn about some new ones. Is this still, no, 30-day, we want year to date. Why does it keep changing? Year to date, and RWAs, mantras, killing the game, R trade. It's got undo down here at 363%, right? And so for me, I would just be looking at a place where I can provide liquidity, take advantage of the narrative that are winning, right? And I would just go to this here, go to a liquidity pool and, see what's good. If you want to automate it, you can, but you can just go to the pool. You can just go check it out and you can just go see what's good about the pool, right? So what we got here, 9 million TVL, 4.8 million in 24 hours, about 14,000. And, you can kind of set narrow, wide range if you wanted to use crystal to enter into this pool. And you could take advantage of what's going on there. So it kind of gives you some good numbers. If you put $1,000 in, as an example, it tells you what you could earn monthly and yearly as a guesstimate. I always like to add that as a guesstimate at this particular range, right? And you can pick a range. You can pick a narrow, or wide, or you can do a full range. You can just be cool and just chill, just hang. You gotta go cray. You can just change, make $11 a month if you want to interested in that with your thing, right? Or you can do a wide range, and you can see estimated daily is $2 and monthly is $78. And when you're comfortable at $100, then you can go to $200. When you come at 200, you can go to 500. You come at 500, you can go to 1,000. You get comfortable with assessing where you are, assessing the fees, assessing the TVL and the 24-hour volume, understanding the APR is going to change based upon the activity of going in and out of the pools, and you get comfortable with it. And then you can wait for a parabola of the bull run, and you can really make some big money then, because you can change these ranges, and you can go to DeFi Llama, and you can track how well or how unwell they are tracking together, how well they're moving together, right? With the correlation tool, right? So you can go to the correlations matrix. You can type in WETH. You can type in undo and just see how well they're correlated. This is when parabola is when I like to do it, right? When we got madness going on in the streets. All right, so for the year, 0.56, you want 0.5 positive and better. You don't want these negative correlations. Don't want that. So it's 0.56 right now for the year. Let's check out undo and wrapped ETH on the month. That's nice correlation. No wonder there's 9 million in that TVL liquidity pool and 5 million every 24 hours. No wonder. Look at that correlation for the month. Undo and wrap ETH. 0.86. That's pretty good. And for the year, 0.56 is great because, you know, you want to hang out in pools for a minute. You don't want to be on there like every 21 days, right? So anyway, these are some examples, some of the things that we like to hang out and talk about in the mastermind. If you're interested in learning how to win in the bear market as well as in the bull market, having a comprehensive strategy, you can go to the patreon.com/golf whiskey mastermind. David says, blown away with the RWA stat. Yeah, absolutely. Because we only have the cycle. We only have the moment that we're in. We only have this cycle. We can't go by promises. Can't go by promises. We got to go with the cycle. What's winning in the cycle and take advantage of that, right? That's, in my opinion, that's kind of how it works. What's going on, Legendary? How are you, bro? It's good. Rick Cesaneto says, CJ, what happened to Flippy? Price up or down? I think it's 79 cents now. So whatever that looks like, I don't know if that's up or down. I think it's down, which is, I think, healthy. Legendary says the numbers don't lie. It's the bottom line, right? It's not what I think or what you think. It's what the market is saying, right? My mentor used to say, you know, don't give me a story, bro. Show me the numbers because the numbers tell the whole story. What's going on my channel? What's going on? Says XRP and FLR. I hear you. Kyle T. Moore says some great info in that group, in that mastermind group. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Rick says, also remember Ripple Labs is going to bring RWA to the XRP on chain. It has not even started yet or priced in to the XRP price. Nope, sure it's not. It's a promise. It's an unrealized promise, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to when they make that happen. I really am. I really am. So just want to share a couple of tools there with you guys for sure. Because you can win in the bear market. If you made $1 million, you can make $1.2 million, $1.3 million in the bear market. In the bear market, safely, if you have skills, if you acquired the skills, got to acquire the knowledge, skills. You don't have to be afraid. This impermanent loss thing is just massively misunderstood. It's just massively misunderstood. Just like people saying, don't sell, just hold on. Hold on for something that's going to eventually happen. They don't, right? You got to get the markets. Every altcoin is going to retrace in the bear market 90 to 98%. Everyone. Or maybe I should say 95 to 98% of altcoins are going to retrace 95 to 98%. Do you have a strategy for that? For that knowledge, for that historical data? Do you have a strategy for that? Do you have a strategy? Legendary speaking some truth. He says, I've been burned too many times by holding. In other words, not taking profit. I hope you're right. David says no taxes on US dollar made crypto. We'll see. Go XRP and XLM. I hope so too. That's going to be something. That's going to be something. Right? So for some fortunate people, there's going to be, right, XRP holdings. You got 200,000 in value. In order to realize that, you got to move into something stable. You move $200,000 into stables. Can you turn 200 into 250 in a bear market? Because the asset XRP is not going to retain its value in the bear market. If Bitcoin ain't going to do it, what makes you think that any other altcoin is going to do it? Because of utility? Is that what you're thinking? Because utility, are you saying because of utility, there's an altcoin that is not going to have a bear market? Because of utility. I mean, just pick one. Solana. Are you saying because of Solana's massive meme coins and all these projects on Solana, Drift Protocol, Camino Finance, Margin Fi, Marinade Finance, Jupiter, Radium, all these non-meme coin platforms, Devour Go, Helium Mobile, Helium Network, you telling me because of all of that stuff going on and because of the meme coin craze, you're saying, this Solana thing is being used a ton. It's not going to have a bear market. Are you trying to tell me that? You trying to tell me that? Does that make sense? Now, what about an asset and its blockchain that doesn't have massive amount of meme coin daily active users, that doesn't have a perps exchange, a regular DEX, that doesn't have, that's being used, that doesn't have staking or liquid staking on it, that doesn't have Web 2, Web 3 projects on it? That's not going to go through a bear market? It's not the promise. It's the realized promise. It's the realized promise. All the things I mentioned about Solana are realized promises. So what you got, Sweet? Got a lot of momentum. Got great numbers with TVL going up. It's still a bunch of unrealized promises. You got to plan accordingly. How do you plan accordingly for awesome technology with unrealized promises? You put it in the 10% bucket as opposed to the 90% bucket of Bitcoin and Ethereum Solana. Hold on 1 second, guys. So anyhow, right? What do you do with realize awesome, great technology in their own lane, looking to do, hype, awesome dreams of potential, whatever. You don't have to not participate. You just put all 10% bucket. You get $100, you put 90 in the proven. You put 90, in my opinion, in the proven, in the realized stuff. The realized stuff is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. It's realized, it's out there. It's, bunch of devs, bunch of projects, bunch of this, a bunch of that. And then you get your little 10% bucket for, some of the unrealized stuff. that has great potential. It has great teams behind it, working on stuff, working on delivering stuff. It's a simple strategy. It's a simple strategy. So that's right, Rick. Yet all newcomers will not sell and believe it will keep moving up, and they lose all their profits. Right? Been there, done it. Right? Been there, done that. Right? Been there, done that. Right? All right, fam. So listen, there it is. I appreciate you guys checking in. Do me a favor and hit that like button on the way out if you didn't get a chance to do so on the way in. It is by far one of the greatest ways to support the channel. It's been a really, really, really cool hang. I'm supposed to be hanging up my Bitcoin thing. Hold on. Bitcoin to 1 million, right? Bitcoin to 1 million. I'm telling you, my guy lays it out in a nice way. How much time do I have? Okay, she is going shopping, so I got a little bit of time, right? Anyway, I believe Bitcoin is going to get to $1 million. I really, really do. I want to share some of my. I'm going to share part of this video. The video is 20 minutes long, so I'm going to share part of the video. Essentially, the TLDR, as the young kids like to say, the TLDR is that the narrative that Bitcoin needs to reach the market cap of gold in order to get to $1 million is incorrect. It doesn't need to get to the market cap of gold. All right, let me share this video real quick. It's my guy, Dennis, from the Virtual Banking YouTube channel. Smart guy. He's a crypto angel investor. He made a few M's. Let's see. I'm trying to find a nice time frame. The math to take Bitcoin to $1 million. Let's do that. Let's take a listen.
We know every rich person and every rich entity will likely allocate a percentage of their portfolio into Bitcoin. But a lot of people don't think this is enough. They really underestimate the effect this will have. We don't need a single entity to go all into Bitcoin for Bitcoin's price to go to $1 million. Let me break down the real math here. Here is the total amount of wealth in the world as calculated by the end of 2022. And
let me do this first.
For me to think about.
These are the wealthy things that he's talking about that the digital asset space or Bitcoin needs to be investing into this space. Retirement funds, sovereign wealth funds, central bank, rich entities, hedge funds, I guess, whatever, asset managers, billionaires like Ray Dalio and Paul Tudor Jones have done, corporate treasuries, people trying to copy and emulate MicroStrategy, like Microsoft is, putting up for a vote right now, right? That kind. These are the entities that he's talking about. All right, so let's get back.
We know every rich person and every rich entity will likely allocate a percentage of their portfolio into Bitcoin. But a lot of people don't think this is enough. They really underestimate the effect this will have. We don't need a single entity to go all into Bitcoin for Bitcoin's price to go to $1 million. Let me break down the real math here. Here is the total amount of wealth in the world as calculated by the end of 2022, and we come in at $450 trillion. How much of the total wealth of the world is allocated to gold and to Bitcoin? Well, we know the market cap of gold, which is $18 trillion, and we know the market cap of Bitcoin at $1.5 trillion. So then let's do the math. We have 18 trillion divided by 454 trillion. That gives us 3.9% of the total wealth in the world that's allocated to gold. And similarly, we take 1.6 trillion of Bitcoin's market cap. We see the current allocation of the total wealth in the world into Bitcoin is only at 0.35%. This is a much more intuitive way to think about the gap between Bitcoin and the gold. It's not that Bitcoin needs to reach the market cap of gold. Rather, it's how much of the total portfolio on average from a wealthy entity do they need to allocate to Bitcoin versus gold. And right now, there is a huge imbalance. People on average allocate 10x more to gold versus into Bitcoin. And this ratio will change drastically over the next 10 years. Let's look at a projection of the total wealth in the world over the next 10 years, how much that can grow, and conversely, how much total allocation into Bitcoin can we expect. And let's take the most conservative approach. Here we have the total global wealth numbers as calculated by Credit Suisse in 2014. We see that 2 decades ago in 2004, the total global wealth in the world is about $160 trillion. And in the decade after, by 2014, that number grew to $255 trillion. This gives us a 1.6x growth in the total global wealth from 2004 to 2014. And then let's look at the last decade. Let's just take a conservative number 2 years ago with $454 trillion of total wealth, and let's divide that number by the total wealth we know from 2014. That gives us 1.75x growth of total wealth in the world over the last decade. So it's safe to say over the next decade until 2034, we will have at least about 1.65x growth over the total wealth in the world. So again, let's take $454 trillion of total wealth, times it by 1.65x. That gives us $750 trillion of total wealth in the world by 2034. Okay, so we know the total number. How much of this number will necessarily be allocated to that of Bitcoin? The decades from 2004 to 2014 is very significant because in 2004, the main event of that year is the launch of the gold ETF from BlackRock. This happened in November 2004. And in the decade following, the price of gold rallied from $420 all the way to $1,900. The total supply of all gold that has ever been mined in the world is about 200,000 tons. This is where you can calculate the total market cap of gold. And in each ton, we have 32,000 ounces. So you take 200,000 tons, times it by 32,000 ounces, and then times it by 420. So you have the starting market cap of gold coming in at $2.68 trillion when the gold ETF was created in 2004. We take this number and we can divide it by the total wealth in the world in 2004, which is $160 trillion. That gives us 1.68% of the total wealth in the world that's allocated to gold in 2004, right after the ETF launch. Okay, so then we know the percentage allocation on average of each wealthy portfolio into gold in 2004 was 1.68%. How much did that allocation grow over the coming decade? Again, let's do the same calculation 10 years after. So let's take total supply of gold in ounces, times it by the price of gold in 2014, which is $1,900. That gives us $12 trillion of market cap in gold by 2014. We take the total market cap of gold of 12.1 trillion divided by the total wealth in the world in 2014 at 255 trillion. That gives us 4.7% of the total wealth in the world that's allocated to gold. I cleaned up the numbers a bit, and here you go. Here is the real growth of the average portfolio allocation in gold in the decade after it got its ETF approved. So in 2004, the total amount of wealth in the world that's allocated to Bitcoin is at 1.67%. In the decade after, that number went up nearly 3x to 4.74%. Remember, this is for gold, the asset that has existed thousands of years already. And with it, it's a narrative being the default store value also being proven over thousands of years. Even with such a long history, after the ETF came in and the Wall Street really started to embrace it as the true store of value, its average portfolio allocation went up nearly 3x. Now imagine the same kind of effect, how reflexive that will be on the price of Bitcoin and the average portfolio allocation into Bitcoin. Let's just take this 3x increase in the average portfolio allocation that we saw in gold and apply that to Bitcoin and see where we get. So let's work backwards. Today, the total market cap of Bitcoin is about $1.6 trillion. You divide that by the total wealth in the world, which is $454 trillion, give or take, probably a little bit more. That gives us 0.35% of the total wealth in the world that's allocated to Bitcoin. Remember from earlier, we had a projection for the total wealth growth in the world over the next decade to reach $750 trillion. This number now comes in handy. So let's take that number, let's times it by the current portfolio allocation into Bitcoin, and that is 0.003524. That gives us 2.639. This is trillions of dollars. And let's take the conservative growth that we saw in the allocation into gold, which is 3x. So let's take that and times it by 3. That gives us $7.92 trillion. This is the potential market cap of Bitcoin over the next decade with a very conservative estimate based on it only having a similar type of trajectory for portfolio percentage growth like what we saw in gold. So what does this translate to in terms of Bitcoin price? If Bitcoin has a $7.92 trillion of market cap, the supply of Bitcoin over the next 10 years is going to be about 20 million coins. You take this divided by 20 million, that gives us about $395,000 per Bitcoin. This is the conservative case, just assuming Bitcoin only grows very slowly and doesn't even grow faster than the trajectory of gold. I say this is conservative because when you compare this to the projected market cap of gold, assuming gold continues to stay at 4.7% allocation of the total wealth in the world, very simple, we take the wealth projection of $750 trillion times it by 4.7%, that gives us the market cap projection for gold to be at $35 trillion by 2034. So this projection, you see how it's very conservative. We are still only assuming Bitcoin to be at less than 25% the market cap of gold in the next decade. Again, this is way different from what people say where Bitcoin has to reach the market cap parity with gold. I think that is actually a pretty far stretch. So then in order to have a $1 million per Bitcoin, what does that look like in terms of market cap comparison between Bitcoin and gold? Well, $1 million per Bitcoin at 20 million total coins just gives us $20 trillion. So you take 20 and you compare it by the projected market cap of gold coming in at 35 trillion. This means we only need to see Bitcoin reaching 57% of the market cap of gold in the next decade in order for Bitcoin to reach $1 million. Now you see where this number comes from. Bitcoin reaching $1 million seems like a huge number because people keep confusing what that actually means in terms of average portfolio allocation. All we are saying is that on average for the rich person's portfolio, they are allocating over 4.7% into gold on average, whereas their average allocation in Bitcoin is only at 0.35%. Over the next decade, we could see people allocating a larger percentage of their portfolio into Bitcoin, but none of them have to go all in for Bitcoin to reach $1 million. If we round up the numbers a bit, all we need to see over the next decade for Bitcoin to reach $1 million is this. For the average rich person's portfolio, for them to allocate 5% of their portfolio into gold and 3% of their portfolio into Bitcoin. As long as
and that's the biggest point there. Remember the 8 entities that I showed there, right? See if we can go back to that. Retirement funds, sovereign wealth funds, central banks, rich entities. This is a culmination of all of these, right? 5% Bitcoin, 5% gold, 3% Bitcoin is all you need. In 10 years for that BTC price to get to 1 million. I think that is no thing. Imagine in the next 10 years just getting to 3% allocation. Just 3%. And like Rick Cisneros was saying, when that BTC does hit that $100,000 thing, it's going to be a massive psychological multiplier, I believe. It's going to be a massive, massive, massive multiplier. 5% Bitcoin. So corporate treasury is still 5% Bitcoin, but just moving up to 3% or going but above that. Pension funds. We already know about the pension funds, and we already know about Microsoft and looking to do the Michael strategy for Michael Saylor, right? So 3% just seems, seems very, 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 very doable. And it's very, very reasonable because it's not saying, a 10% allocation or 15% allocation in the 10 years from a central bank, from corporate treasuries, or it doesn't require any of that. And what I will leave you with is this. If the digital asset space is the greatest performing asset class in the history of asset classes, it's the greatest outperformer. It's killing the NASDAQ and the S&P and real estate and anything else. It's killing them. What is the number one performing asset in the greatest performing asset class? It's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to get to $1 million before any other asset. And right? I ask people all the time, you got $1 million and pick an altcoin. Bull run's over, it's just about to be over. You got $1 million in your portfolio. If it's not realized, it's unrealized. If it's not moved into stable coins, it's unrealized profit. If you keep it in the altcoin for 2.5 years of a bear market, a year and a half of a bear market, pick your number, 3 years. Will its value still be $1 million? I think not. So the realized $1 million is much better than an unrealized $1 million, but you still got a bunch of that asset. Unrealized, but you got a bunch of that asset, but it's unrealized. Maybe you realize that profit of $1 million, maybe 50% into Bitcoin. That's what I'm going to do. 50% into Bitcoin. When are you going to get that Bitcoin, Siege? At 200,000? No. Now, I've been dollar cost averaging, and I'll continue to dollar cost average all the way up. 2 to 3 payments, 2 to 3 DCAs payments, purchases, I should say. 2 or 3 DCA purchases a month, just DCAing up, right? Wind Moon, $1 million, for example. 50% waiting for what? The retrace that historically has happened after the top. Historically, it's just happened. We'll get a little fake out, 200,000 to 160, and then it'll go back up to 180. You know how they do legendary, go back up to 180, and then people are going to start saying, because it'll be around that range for 2 and 3 months, people are going to say, see, it's different. Bitcoin's not going to have a bear. It's a super cycle. All of that stuff's going to come up again. But can you plan on something that has never happened? Or do you have to plan on something where you have historical data of it happening, which is a 55 to 75% retrace? So that's what I'm going to start planning. I'm going to start 200,000. Okay. Start getting around, start going from 200,000 now for, let's say 60 days is at 85, right? 65 days, 60 days is at 85,000. Maybe hits 80. I'm starting to pay attention now with that $500,000 that I got. Start seeing, waiting for that trend, the confirmed trend, make that purchase. First purchase 75,000, maybe. I don't know. First purchase 70,000. I don't know. But I'll know there's going to be a range where I'll begin to make that first purchase with the 500,000, half of the million in realized profit to buy Bitcoin. Keep the other 500,000 for better purchasing opportunities of better risk adjusted reward assets, hanging out in the flywheel economy that is Flare as well, right? Just having that nice little comprehensive strategy to win. What's going on, Britt? Britt says Bitcoin could go anywhere from 120 to a million this cycle. I hear you. The United States Bitcoin reserves changes the game. I hear you. I don't think the drawback will be 80% this time. Yep, I hear you. There will be another crypto. There will be another crypto, or there won't be. So we'll see if history, if it changes, right? We'll see if this time is different, right? That's going to be the big thing, right, Britt? We're going to see if this time is different. I doubt it. I won't bet on that. I will not plan around it being different this time, but we will see, right? We will see how it goes. So having a strategy is hugely important. And we're going to go, we're all walking into that ethos of 2016 is, the reason why we got all these altcoins is so we can get more Bitcoin. All right, fam. So there it is. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. Do me a favor. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, please do so on the way out, right? And we still got the altcoins to help us multiply the bags. It's going to help us multiply the bags with the better X's, with a better strategy, and we can participate in DeFi with a certain percentage of the realized gains in DeFi. We can participate there. We can grow stables from 1 million to 1.5 million in the bear market. We can participate in liquidity pools of assets that we want to reacquire for the bull run. We can do that in DeFi in the bear market. Right? We can do that. All right, fam. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Do me a favor and hit that like button on the way out. That'd be super cool. And again, if you happen to be in that 55% or so of people that are hanging out, listening to and watching the crypto season, if you've been enjoying those hangouts, we're trying to get that number from 55% down to about 20-25%. And you could help. You could do your part right now by just hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby, so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this or perhaps ponder the idea or notion to live your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.